Is Jamie Carragher right about Arsenal and is he right about Arteta? Now, last night on Monday Night Football, Fulham played Brentford, and one of the talking points before the game was about Arsenal and Arteta. Arteta is being compared to an early Jose Mourinho when he joined the Premier League when he was up against Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. And there was an interesting point on the show where Jamie Carragher broke down some of the Arsenal signings, talked about there being a more physical side, and keeps making a comparison from Mikel Arteta to Jose Mourinho. And this caught my attention because I said this a couple of weeks ago when Arteta started making a more of a pragmatic approach away to Aston Villa, away to Manchester City, and away to Tottenham. And the best managers in the world earn their money when difficult situations face them. Losing Martin Odegaard, for instance, red cards to Trossard, Declan Rice, and Saliba. These are situations out of his control. But what is in his control, of course, is the style of play and the results. We're going to watch a little segment of Monday Night Football last night. I normally think Jamie Carragher is very fair. I think what he said last night was very fair as well. And just because he's comparing Arteta to Jose Mourinho, it's not the Jose Mourinho of today that he's comparing him to, the one at Fenerbahce. He's comparing him to Jose at his peak. Now, people forget Arteta is still a very young coach. You know, he's 42 or 43 years of age. He's only been managing in football for 5, 6 years. But what he is, the amount of pressure he's been under and what he has achieved in terms of winning the FA Cup and being in 2 title races, I think needs to be giving props. But what Jamie Carragher does say in this clip is Jose had the trophies, and that's down to Arteta to get more out of. We're going to have a look at this video. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to give our thoughts. So this is from Sky Sports last night on Monday Night Football.
17th last season. It is now 12th. And this is also interesting and perhaps significant. The percentage of goalkeeper passes long, 11th last season. They climbed 10% to 55.
So as you can see there, the numbers from last season to this season, they have dropped significantly. Open play chances have dropped from 3rd to 10th. Chances from set pieces have gone from ranked 17th last season to 5th. Percentage of passes long has gone up. And this is a lot of the things Jose used to do, punting it up towards Drogba. You know, Arsenal are now punting it up towards Havertz. In terms of goalkeeper passes long, look at it. They've gone up massively, 11th to 6th, which is one of the things Jose had in all of his teams. Punting it up long to Kane, up long to Ibrahimovic. This is kind of a Jose trait in his teams.
Which is 6th in the league. What do you make of that, Jamie? Is that sort of confirming what your eye is telling you?
Well, listen, the numbers tell me that. My eyes tell me that when I watch Arsenal. I struggle to see them, certainly in big away games, how they're going to score a goal besides a set piece. Listen, the elephant in the room is Odegaard's not.
I don't necessarily think that's true. How are they going to score a goal other than a set piece? They scored one in open play away to Manchester City from Calafiori. They scored, I think it was 2 in open play against Aston Villa, Thomas Partey and Leandro Trossard. Yes, they could be doing more. Absolutely. I'm not denying that. They are leaning a lot on set pieces, but, you know, it's not like they're not scoring goals. But, yeah, he has a point.
He's probably in the top 4 or 5 players in the Premier League. So there's no doubt he makes a huge difference. But don't forget, Man City without De Bruyne this season, probably for a lot of last season as well. So they're heavily reliant on him. But when you say this by design, and I made a comment last week about sort of the football and where basically Mikel Arteta's football is morphing into. Now, I want to go back and look at the players Mikel Arteta's signed, because I didn't just come up with this idea on back of last week. I've been thinking this for a few months now.
Now, this is where it gets extremely interesting. 2021, Arsenal signed Ben White and Martin Odegaard, 2 very technical, good footballers. Ben White, one of the best right-backs in the league, great defensively, great getting forward. And Martin Odegaard is their most productive, their most creative player. He leads the press. He's the captain. He essentially, everything runs through this guy when it comes to an attacking outlet in the team. But this is where it gets interesting.
I go here. I know Mikel Arteta came in before that, and there was players he signed from Chelsea, older players like David Luiz and Willian and that. But when he's sort of signing sort of young players, and this was the season when maybe Arsenal probably should have made the top 4 when they were fighting with Tottenham. Ben White was brought in, ball playing centre back, almost felt like he was going to be the John Stones of what Man City
Could
was.
have even played in
Odegaard
midfield.
come in from Real Madrid, again an intricate player between the lines, so you can see the type of football and manager and team he wants. We then go to the following season, the first season where Arsenal.
Now this is where this is the best part, I think, of this clip is they signed 2 players from Manchester City, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and they brought in Vieira. 3, so that's 5 technical footballers. Zinchenko, really, really good technically on the ball. Jesus, another one, good technically on the ball, and Fabio Vieira. But none of those players really excel at anything. Jesus has got 1 goal in his last 25 games. Fabio Vieira, I think, doesn't have the physicality to play in this league. And Zinchenko is great up against a kind of a low block. But when you come into a big game, because the bigger teams predominantly have better forwards, he ends up on the bench because he just isn't strong enough in the 1v1 situations as a Urian Timber or a Ben White, for instance. But it's the next 4 signings after this which make this, you kind of see the Jose comparison coming a little bit more.
Challenge for the title. 2 players coming from Manchester City, Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, a fullback who likes to go into midfield, Fabio Vieira, a midfield player, only 5'7". So again, intricate footballing players. You can see what he's trying to build and what team he wants. Very similar almost maybe to Manchester City. He then loses the league this season. They get bullied at Manchester City's ground, and towards the end of the season, lose the
Now look at the change. Try to essentially copy a Guardiola style of football, proper footballers on the ball, technical. Then you bring in 3 more predominantly physical powerhouses. Kai Havertz, number 9, who can hold the ball up, very, very good in the air. Declan Rice, one of the best 8s in the league, who's got an engine on him, one of the best fullbacks out of Ajax. Those 3 are not as technically strong as the other 3, but what they do have is the physicality side of things. And those 3 genuinely probably suit a Jose Mourinho style compared to a Guardiola style. Now, look, it's absolutely, just because Arteta is being compared to Jose of the early days, it's not a bad comparison. Jose Mourinho won 3 league titles with Chelsea. He won a treble with Inter Milan. He won a Champions League and a league title with Porto. He set a record in Spain for the most goals in one season and won a league title. You know, he went to Man United and won a Europa League. If Arteta can have even 25% of Mourinho's CV, he's a very successful manager. And one part of this video is Jamie Carragher says the last 20 years, Guardiola and Mourinho have been 2 of the most successful managers, if not the most successful managers in football. So it's not a bad thing to be compared to early Mourinho, in my opinion.
Title. And I think there's a feeling that we're not strong enough, we're not powerful enough, right? So you bring in Declan Rice, 6'2", box-to-box midfield player. Kai Havertz, an attacking player, whether that's midfield or part of your front 3, but he's not a silky player. He's a physical player. He holds the ball up. He's good in the air. Timber, brilliant defender, but he's a solid defender first and foremost, not like a Zinchenko going into midfield. So when I talk about where this team is morphing to, I don't just look at a statement out to try and create headlines. And it's not a criticism. It's an
I think he's absolutely spot on. It's not a criticism comparing him to Jose. And then you look at the next 2 signings. Mikel Arteta, 6 foot, big midfielder, can play in the 6, can play in the 8. Ricardo Calafiori, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", another big, powerful defender. He's kind of adopted a Jose Mourinho style of recruitment in signing big men. Look, none of those guys, other than Timber, are under 6 foot. I think Calafiori may be 6 foot, but predominantly all those signings are big men, which has also helped Arsenal be so strong from set pieces and so strong defensively. You know, you look at Declan Rice over 6 foot, Kai Havertz over 6 foot, Gabriel, Saliba. You know, there's a lot of Mourinho, Calafiori. There's a lot of tall guys in there now, which predominantly is why they've scored from the most set pieces in the last 18 months because of that. That is a Jose style of thing. Lumping the ball up long, being strong defensively, being strong from set pieces. These are all Jose things, Jose traits.
Analysis that this team has gone from intricate players to strong, powerful players. And this summer, Calafiori, again, he's a centre-back playing left-back. And Mourinho comes in, 6'2" midfield player, who actually, when he joined the club, came out with a quote said, when I went into the dressing room, I felt like I was with a basketball team, not a football team, because the size.
Exactly. The size of the team is, I think that genuinely is it's a very, very good point. It's an absolutely huge team when you look at the height, the strength, the direct style, and these are. I wanted to bring up this part here. This is absolutely spot on what I was talking about a minute ago. These 4 things is what Jose approached his game on. Strong defensively, which is what Arteta's done. Height and strength, which is what Arteta's done. Set piece and a direct style. But the one thing that Jose had, which Arteta hasn't got yet, is what Jamie Carragher goes on to say now.
Didier Drogba, knock it down to Frank Lampard. The one thing that we should also say that Arsenal are not like Jose Mourinho is winning trophies. Now, if Jose Mourinho is watching tonight and he'll see that, he will say, but I win trophies. At the moment, Arsenal haven't won the trophy. They've been fantastic. The football they've played, superb, and how they're going about it. But anyone who thinks I just plucked this Jose Mourinho thing out to sort of create a negativity around Arsenal, it's analysing exactly where Arsenal are going. And if people don't agree with that, I don't think you're actually watching what's going on with Arsenal right now. I think Mikel Arteta feels he doesn't have the attacking quality that Manchester City have.
This is it. He's absolutely spot on. They don't have the technical forwards of a Jack Grealish, of a Bernardo Silva, of a Savinho, of a Doku, of a Haaland, but they're stronger defensively. They're a more physical side. He mentions earlier about the 4-1 defeat. When you look back at Arsenal, Manchester City, I think it was 2021-2022 season, 4-1 at the Etihad. They go 3-0 up. I think Rob Holding scores and then Haaland scores in the 90th minute. Absolute bullied Arsenal. Since then, since Arsenal have gone to a more dominant physical side, they've beat them in the Community Shield, they've drawn at the Emirates, and they've beaten them at the Emirates as well. Arsenal are yet to face a defeat to Manchester City since he started signing more physical 6'2", 6'3" style players that are strong in the air, strong on the ball, have got engines to get up and down. I think Jamie Carragher is absolutely spot on when comparing Jose Mourinho to Mikel Arteta. I think he's spot on.
So he's going another way to try and win the league, which is being strong defensively and a more powerful team.
Well, listening to you,
I think he's spot on. I don't think that's a bad comparison. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. I think in terms of Jamie Carragher's punditry, I think he was Monday Night Football is one of the best footballing shows in the world. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville normally really, really good head-to-head analysis. And I think that Jamie Carragher's analysis of the comparison between Arteta and Jose Mourinho is absolutely spot on. It's not a bad thing. If Arteta wins the league this season, like Diego Simeone won La Liga with Atletico, or Conte won the league with the Scudetto and the league title with a more predominant pragmatic approach, no Arsenal fan is going to care whatsoever at the end of the season if they are lifting a Premier League title. The style of play doesn't matter as long as you're lifting, showing armpits, lifting silverware. Look, I think that was a very, very good bit of analysis. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Jamie Carragher is right about Arsenal? Do you think it was a fair comparison? I'd love to get your thoughts and feelings. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you have subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. I am